Greetings, students. I hope everybody enjoyed A Class Divided, and I'm sure we had a wonderful discussion. But now we're going to move into something a little different for us. This is not typically what we do in this class. This is something a little extra. So, because we've spent so much of this week on race, I wanted to spend a little bit of extra time on the idea of ethnic groups, particularly ethnic groups within the US. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you guys a little research assignment. Yes, a little assignment to take with you onto the internet and find some answers, and we'll see what we can learn. So that's kind of the idea here. So what are we going to do? We're going to learn about immigration in America. And here's how we're going to learn about immigration in America. I want you guys to look some stuff up for me. The first thing I want you to look up for me is, how does a person go about legally emigrating to the United States of America? This will not be a straightforward answer. It's a multi-step process, and it's quite expensive. So make sure you're getting all of that information. So that's the first thing I want you to look up. The second thing I want you to look up is how one claims asylum in the United States of America. Now, before you ask, what on earth is asylum and does it have to do with being insane? No, it does not. Let's get into it. So what is asylum? So there are international laws that govern the entire world, right? That we all agree on. And one of those laws is that if you are living in a place that's scary, that's bad, that does bad things to you, and you flee for your life, if you believe you'll be persecuted if you return, there are certain countries that have been set up to take your claim. One of those countries is the United States of America. So if you run away from a scary country, like say Venezuela, which has a dictator, Maduro, he's very frightening. If you run away from a place like that and you say at the border of the United States that you feel that if you return to your country of origin, you'll be harmed, we have to take you. Actually, that's the law. That's what asylum is. So I want you to look up that process so that you understand a little bit more about the asylum process, because that's what most of the folks at our southern border are applying for. They're applying for asylum in the United States, which is an international legal process, not just an American one. So I want you to look that up. And then once you've kind of figured out how one goes about legally applying to live here, or legally applying for refugee or asylum status here, then I want you guys to look up some more specific statistics. Specifically, I want you to look at the rates of violent crime for people who immigrate here legally and for people who don't immigrate here legally, right? So there's two different groups. There's the illegal folks and there's the legal folks. I want you to look up the crime statistics for both sets of groups, okay? And then once you've done that whole process, once you've learned how you get here and how you get here if you're claiming asylum and how the refugee process works and all of that, and once you've determined what those crime statistics are for those two groups, I want you to pop down into the immigration discussion board, and I want you to tell me what the biggest thing you learned was. Because something tells me you guys are about to learn a lot about our immigration system that you did not know before. Most of us are native-born Americans. We don't have to worry about this stuff. Yay! But we're going to learn a little bit more about it this week. So go ahead and do that research for me, and then whatever your most surprising fact, whatever really caught your attention in this research, I want you to put that down in the discussion board post. Okay? I look forward to seeing you guys there.